to be a doctor.
Yes,
that was
science today.
I really had this passion to be a doctor, but then I went into the university and I discovered that I had to do a pre-science course before going into medicine proper. And that was supposed to happen for 1 year. Okay, so I started, the option I had was nursing, and I started nursing. And within this 1 year, I found that, I began to enjoy the course nursing. My classmates were fun, and even the science of it, because nursing science is really, really interesting. I felt so at the time. So at the end of the 1 year, my father said, "Oh, it's time for you. You said you wanted to do medicine. It's time for you to now start medicine." And I said, "No, Daddy, I don't want to do medicine anymore." And he was surprised, and he said, "Oh, that's what you've always wanted to be. And what happened?" And I said, "I'm beginning to enjoy nursing. I like what I'm seeing, and I want to be a nurse." And that was how I started. It was really prestigious for me at the time to be a nurse.
Wow! In Nigeria?
In Nigeria.
Wow!
Yes. Because I got into it, and I got to start understanding what nursing is about. Postpartum depression is basically depression that happens within the first 4 weeks after delivery. Okay, that's when it starts.
Yes.
It can actually extend over a year or
after delivery, birth, childbirth,
yes. So
and extends.
Yes, it actually starts within
the first 4 weeks
after giving birth, and it comes from the kind of changes that happens with the woman because she gave birth.
Yes.
Okay, so you have the physical changes.
Yes.
The hormonal factor.
Yeah.
All the
hormonal is internal self, and then we have the physical body changes.
Exactly, body changes, and then even the psychological changes. I mean, now
Yeah.
you have to take care of two people instead of just yourself.
Yeah.
And if you've had, of course, 4 children, you have to add one more to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So you have to. I mean, it takes a lot from you emotionally.
Right.
So there are a lot of changes that goes through you.
Yeah.
As a new, I would say new mom, because of course it can also happen to people who have been moms before.
Yeah.
Right. So that's pretty much what postpartum depression is.
You're a mom. You have 3 children. Did you ever experience it?
A minor form of it, maybe because I know about it.
Why don't they talk about this during antenatal?
Okay, so I would say the major reason why it is not popular is because our society hasn't embraced the concept of mental health generally. So the stigma that is attached to it, is what people are running away from. And then the society generally expects so much from each individual. Okay?
Right.
You're a mom, and are you the first?
Are you the first mom?
You're not the first person. Deal with it, right? Are you the first? After all, I've had 5 children. What's wrong with you? I better get out from here. That kind of mentality. We have that a lot in our society. So people don't readily come forward when they have issues. Honestly, it is a lot, to deal with as an individual. Yeah, it is a lot to deal with. And let me just mention that it can be minor. Yeah, the stages. And then it can be really severe. If it's not properly managed at the minor phase, it can become... The women who take it out on their children. Yes, it can escalate to something. It can escalate to psychosis. There's what we call puerperal psychosis, and it usually starts with this kind of depression. Baby blues. What is baby blues? It's basically a minor form of... How does it present itself? So there are different things that you look out for. The person is irritated, crying, shouting, mood swings. Now you're happy, the other minute you're sad. Shouting at everybody, basically irritable. You cannot sleep properly. You cannot eat properly. Okay, and then with not eating properly, you'd lose a lot of weight, and so many of. So they sound really minor. Yeah. And if you think about it, if you're a mom, if you've had a baby before, you'll find that yes, this kind of things actually happen to me. It happens to almost everybody. Yes. Baby blues. However, if it's not properly managed, then you'd go into the phase where you are actually depressed, where all the symptoms we've talked about actually weighs you down. Yes, weighs you down, and you're unable to do anything. Okay? What do you? The sense of helplessness, the sense of worthlessness, the sense of hopelessness. You're unable to cope. Okay, and then there are people who try to kill their babies. Yes, and if that's not controlled properly, that's when you now go into psychosis that I talked about. Yeah. Where you want to harm yourself, committing suicide, trying to kill your own baby, trying to harm other people, hallucinating. It actually goes that far. Have you seen any case? Yes, I mean in my practice, yes, we have. I have seen quite a number, even as a student nurse. It's something that is really, really popular. Rampant. Yeah, it is popular. However, it's just that culture of secret. I have a problem. Still have that culture of secrecy. I mean, yes. You don't want to come and we have not embraced mental health, like you have said. I'm able to deal with it on my own. With the very minor one, we talked about baby blues. It can affect everybody. Any woman who's had a baby, of course, all these changes we've talked about, hormonal change happens to everybody. So yes, everybody is at risk. However, if you have had depression in the past, then you're more likely. To have, yes.
All right.
Yes. And then if you're a young mom, so women that are really young, give birth are at risk.
Yeah.
People
not informed.
People who have marital issues,
right?
People who don't have good support systems,
right?
Them, yes, who are unable to voice out or have anybody to speak with, and
right?
Things like that. Yes. So those are the kind of
men. Do men have the same thing?
Well, yes, actually.
Yes, they do.
Men can
yes, they do.
Because yes, the hormonal part won't be there because they didn't give birth.
Yes.
However, the social
every other factor
changes,
the changes that happen at home.
Even the psychological changes. The man wasn't thinking about buying diapers before. Now he has to start thinking about school fees.
And then these days we have men who are going into the theater or going into the ward, and then they experience that same thing. And
so it can affect the men.
Yes.
Usually it's not as severe
as of course the woman. Nice. So preventive measures, or what do they call it? Management, more like.
Well, really, the management will depend on what caused it, okay, and how severe it is, okay. So for the minor postpartum depression, you would want this person to be around people who would support.
Right. Very encouragement, support.
Yes. So if you are the person who has this kind of condition, you want to reach out more.
And we shame people a lot in Nigeria. We shame people a lot. There are some people who don't lactate properly. Those things affect women. And they say, oh, why is your breast not bringing out milk? And then they keep...
Even starting from before you get pregnant, they're like, oh, you married two years ago.
Yeah,
what's happening? Unnecessary pressure.
Yeah, so we need encouragement.
Yourself, right? You need to culture yourself because, you cannot stop people from saying what they want to say.
Yeah.
So you have to... Self-care is very important. Take
right.
care of yourself first.
Right.
If you need a break from work, take your off.
Oh yeah. Hallelujah.
If you need to go have a massage, please do.
Reduce
stress to the barest minimum. Stress is a major factor. As much as possible, seek help. If you need a house help, please don't say I'm superwoman, I can do everything.
Super mom.
I'm telling you, you can't be a super mom, really. There's nothing like that. You're going to kill yourself.
Right.
So get as much help as you need. Speak out.
Right.
Speak out. Ask for help when you need to. And then, of course, if you start thinking of harming somebody or you start seeing things that are not really there, please seek help. We have counselors all over the place.
In my case, how do I overcome it? Thankfully, read a lot when you're pregnant. Because I came across postpartum depression, and I took a minute to sit down and I said, oh, this is what is affecting me right now. Because I wasn't myself. I used to be very social and my friends were now far away. I was living very far away from every other person that I knew. And then I had a new baby, and then all the changes that happened and the trauma from birth experience. I had traumatic, I was always thinking about all the things that could have happened. And, all those things affected me. And then one day I said, this is PPD. And I identified it, and I told my husband I wanted to travel. And I went on a break. I traveled to Dubai for a week, and I saw life again. And I started working out in Dubai because I traveled 6 months after. I did exclusive for 6 months and then dropped my baby. And people were still shouting, oh, irresponsible mother, you left your 6-month-old baby. But I remember when my husband came to pick me up at the airport, he said, you have changed. You look so different. I'd lost weight. I bought new clothes.
Wow.
I saw life again. So yeah, it's that, take a moment for yourself and take care of yourself. Go for a massage. Do things, just
whatever it is you love to do. If it's playing tennis, just take a walk sometimes. Just say, you know what, I just hands off everything and just take a break. Even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, but just know when you've gotten to that point and step back.